Hello, Aries, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of April 19th through the 25th. And during that time, we have a waxing crescent moon, and that's a time of heightened senses. Good time for us to buckle down and get to work on those things that we've started during the new moon, at the fresh start of the new cycle. A good time to, plan and just kind of live up to those expectations that we've set for ourselves. We then have that first quarter moon, which is our first little interrupter, and that could be on the 24th or the 25th, depending on where you are. But that is a time when you might feel a little bit impulsive and impatient, really just for maybe a few hours for some of you. But just remember, those are those little gifts that teach us how to, kind of control our emotions and take control over, those impulses and stuff. So it's just a little gift and then that is over. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Aries. So as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is it's time to release negativity. All right, which is a really good thing every day, isn't it? Good advice all the time. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder this week is that you try to get yourself out into nature a little bit. So take a walk. I know if you're like me, the weather it's been beautiful here. So in fact, I'm going to get out there today a little bit, try to get into the sun a little, and just take the time to really drink in the miracle of nature. And it's a good time if you're thinking about things or planning or making adjustments right now. Just nature has a way of just really clearing your mind and letting you move forward with those plans. So that is my fun weekly reminder for you. Get out and look at some beautiful nature this week, wherever you can. All right, let's get into this reading. Aries, April 19th through the 25th, it's time to release negativity. All right, your overall present energy. Well, we've got a couple of cards right here that do not want to go back in. We're going to put those right on top for you. Your current present situation is Ace of Cups. So something coming into your life right now that's something you love. This could be anything, literally anything under the sun. This could be a thing. This could be a person that you meet, a new friend. This could be a new grandchild that comes into your life. This could be, there's so many, in the way of people. It could be an item. It could just be a tangible material item, but it's just something that makes your heart overflow, something that you just really love. And that's not a bad thing to happen, right? Your current situation is the Page of Swords. So this could be some new way of communication that you're having. Our pages are about new paths, and swords are about air energy. So this could be some new thoughts that you're loving. Maybe you're just being very positive right now and you're really enjoying that. It could be that you're communicating in a different way. It could be a new app on your phone that you found to communicate and you're like, I really love this thing. So again, so many things under the sun that could be for different Aries. So enjoy whatever that is that has recently come into your life. At the root of your situation is the Seven of Pentacles here. So you're kind of I'm not going to say bored. You're kind of sitting around, not sitting around, kind of waiting on something to come in, and you might be trying to fill your time. For some of you, you're in between projects right now, or maybe work's a little slower than usual. So, and that could be why you're playing around and finding some way to communicate or something new to fall in love with. But, the root of your situation is that you're kind of having a week that's not, I'm not going to say not productive, but just there's nothing new happening. It's kind of like same old, same old. Kind of waiting for or in between something, like an in between phase for you. So take advantage of that time, like I said, to get out into nature. Maybe walking in nature and communicating with nature is the thing that you're going to find that you love this week. So whatever that is for you, you have some extra time, is what I'm trying to say. In your recent past here, Aries, King of Swords. So yeah, you've probably been very hard to work, very hard at, logically putting things together. Aries, you guys tend to be very competitive, when it comes to work and accomplishing things. And I'm sure your logic comes into play there, but, King of Swords doesn't mess around. He gets some things done. and you're kind of, like I said, you it's like you've done the work, and now this week is just a little bit lighter for you. So, again, releasing that negativity, take a little time to just kind of reassess everything that's going on in your world. Again, we're at the time where it's new moon, we've just started things, and hopefully this is like personal transformational stuff that you're working on too, that during the new moon, not just work that we're thinking about, but our own personal work. What is on your mind this week, Aries, is the Queen of Wands. So maybe you are, thinking about things that you are very passionate about, and understanding that, maybe you need to make time. Let's say you're very passionate about, I'll just use golf as an example. Maybe you're very passionate about golf and you haven't given yourself the time to do that. It's the perfect week to do that. Again, that gets you out into nature too. But just think about that there are things that you are very passionate about, that you love, that you have to make sure that you're making some space in your life for that too, not just waiting on these harvests to come in, and making everything about work, but sometimes it's just about your personal enjoyment as well. And release that negativity of, sometimes we can self-talk ourselves into not allowing those things that we're passionate about or that we have fun doing. And so if that's some negative self-talk, that might be a good thing for you to work on this week. Is just, hey, it's okay to have a good time sometimes and relax a little bit. Work things are still going on in the background, that's fine. What is just ahead of you this week? Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, I think, you're waiting on things to come in. I think things are wrapping up. It's almost like you've done the work, things are wrapping up, and maybe this new financial opportunity comes in and presents itself to you. Just maybe let it sit there. It's there. It'll be there. It'll be there next week. It'll be there after that round of golf. Again, I'm using that as an example. It could be anything, whatever things that you really enjoy doing and are passionate about. Go ahead and try to, just indulge yourself a little bit with those things this week. In your advice position here, Ace of Wands. Look at all the aces here. I love this. 3 aces. So, yeah, the advice is to do your passion. That's literally, the universe is almost knocking on your door. You've got something coming in that you love. You're kind of in a lull, and that's okay. And those things that you love lead to new opportunities coming in. Maybe it happens on that golf course, happens with that thing that you love to do. But your advice is definitely, Ace of Wands, is to really embrace, even if it's a new passion, something new that's coming in that you love. Go ahead and embrace that and make sure that you're indulging yourself with that a little bit this week. What is beyond your control, Aries, is the 3 of Cups, which I also love for you, because this is a card of celebration and just, again, having a good time. Maybe it is time, while you're waiting and you're in this lull, get out, do the things you enjoy, hang out, friends and family, celebrate a little bit. Just enjoy life, Aries. What is your secret desire, or what are you trying to avoid? Is the Star card. So the Star card is about really just following the signs that the universe is giving us to make sure that we're moving in the direction. This is when you're known, something is known to you and you're not even sure why. Like, I know I need to go do this thing, or I know I need to take a right instead of a left, and I'm not sure why. And all of a sudden there's a person that appears there that you need to know for some reason. So, that's following the signs of the universe, and really having like a clarity. Like, even though you're not really sure why you're doing it, it's like, that you have to do it. So that's what this card represents, is about direction. So are you trying to avoid that in your life, or is that your secret desire, to be that person who can turn on a dime and say, oh well, I've this thing came into my life, I'm going to explore it, right? And there's no right or wrong. In fact, different Aries will answer this in different ways, but that's your big question of the week: is, are you following the signs that the universe is trying to give you for a certain direction, or are you just trying to avoid those altogether? In your outcome position, Aries, is the Strength card. So look at that. You end up very strong. And I think, the Strength card is about being strong in mind and body. And sometimes that is about indulging yourself and letting your mind just relax a little bit. It is about, what things do make us stronger. And sometimes letting our mind go, letting creativity come in, indulging in these things, sometimes can be the spark to something that does make you a little bit stronger in your day to day. And it's like all the things that go into making sure that you have a good day. We've got like, get the right sleep, take your vitamins, eat well, do all these things, exercise, do that. And sometimes just enjoying yourself, laughing, having a good time with your friends, doing something that you love to do, will also just make you a stronger person as well. All right, what is hidden from you this week, Aries? The Devil card, perfect. That's the best place for that card to be. No false truths coming in for you, no insecurities. I just feel like it is kind of a, relaxing. It's a relaxing week for you. So I do like that. Let's get a final message here from the Soul Oracle deck. Final message for Aries as they just indulge in life a little bit, the fun things in life. And the card that you get this week is to nurture yourself first. That's why I love tarot, and I love when these cards come out and it's like, yeah, it just reinforces everything that the tarot is saying. Nurture yourself for, indulge a little bit. And that's a great way to put it, is to nurture yourself. Let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care besides all of this, hanging out with friends and family, a little bit of laughter, just kind of enjoying things. Self-care for Aries this week. And the card that you get is the card called Decision. Sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. Perfect. Again, indulge, relax, just release negativity, just let things kind of flow and let the universe, if you're saying yes to the star sign, just kind of follow the signs of the universe and let it take you where it's going to take you. That's a good advice for anybody. But it's fun on a given week to maybe set that intention and do that for the week and just kind of see where you end up. So Aries, thank you so much for being here. I do hope you take the time to indulge this week. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a comment down below and let me know, how did you indulge? How did you nurture yourself? I'd be real curious to know. And as you guys can compare notes as different Aries. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps me. And I find that to be slightly indulgent as well, but I do appreciate that so much. So thank you so much for doing that in advance. Good luck with all of this, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.